Mnuchin walks back weaker dollar comment after Greenback plummets. The U.S. Treasury Secretary appeared to couch remarks he made earlier in the week at the World Economic Forum about the benefits of a weak dollar. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin on Thursday said he doesn't spend a lot of time thinking about the strength of the U.S. dollar, an apparent couching of comments he made just a day prior that hurled the greenback to its lowest level in 3 years. Mnuchin spoke Thursday from Davos, Switzerland, home of the World Economic Forum, during a panel discussion hosted by CNBC. He was asked to clarify comments he made Wednesday in which he stated that obviously a weaker dollar is good for us as it relates to trade. In the short term, where the dollar is not a concern of mine, and it's not something I spend a lot of time thinking about, Mnuchin said Thursday, appearing to walk back his previous praise of a hypothetically weak dollar. There are benefits of where the dollar is, and there are costs of where the dollar is, just depending upon what side of the table you're on. Treasury secretaries in recent history have mostly steered clear of comments related to the economic benefits of a weak dollar. A lower-valued U.S. currency would, theoretically, make American-made products more competitive in international trade markets when exchange rates are factored in. On the flip side, a strong dollar allows Americans to purchase international products more affordably. The idea is that the dollar, the global reserve currency to which various other international currencies are pegged, shouldn't swing too significantly one way or another to maintain global stability. But after Mnuchin made his remarks Wednesday, financial markets responded in kind by plummeting the value of the currency to its lowest level in years. The comments and market reaction prompted Christine Lagarde, managing director of the International Monetary Fund, to tell Bloomberg that she really hopes that Secretary Mnuchin has the opportunity to clarify what he said. Lagarde said she and her colleagues at the IMF do not comment on currency strength, but noted this would not be the time to have any kind of currency war play out on the international stage. Mnuchin's presidential cabinet colleague, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, came to his defense on Wednesday, saying in an interview with CNBC's Squawk Box that the Treasury chief wasn't advocating anything. Still, Mnuchin the next day acknowledged that his views may differ from some of his predecessors at the Treasury Department, and his original comments were not far removed from similar sentiments expressed by his boss, President Donald Trump, who told the Wall Street Journal in an interview last year that he thinks our dollar is getting too strong and that it's very, very hard to compete when you have a strong dollar and other countries are devaluing their currency. I think I've actually been quite consistent on my comment on the dollar. Perhaps I've been slightly different than previous Treasury secretaries because in recent times, previous secretaries have talked up the dollar, Mnuchin said Thursday. I've been consistent. And what I've said, not only yesterday and today, is, first of all, the currency markets are probably the most liquid markets in the world. And we fundamentally support free trading in the currency markets. So my comments have been that in the short term, where the dollar is not a concern of mine. Mnuchin was asked specifically whether U.S. policy on currency strength had changed under the Trump administration. But he responded by saying he had been consistent without clarifying whether the Trump administration's views are consistent with its predecessors. It's not a shift in my position on the dollar at all, Mnuchin said. Meanwhile, Trump in a separate interview Thursday appeared to soften his previous stance on currency strength, telling CNBC that Mnuchin's original comments had been taken out of context and that ultimately, I want to see a strong dollar. I don't like talking about it because, frankly, nobody should be talking about it. It should be what it is, Trump said of the dollar's strength. Our country is becoming so economically strong again, and strong in other ways too, by the way, that the dollar is going to get stronger and stronger. Mnuchin on Thursday also was asked how he feels about the international trade landscape, given recent Trump administration actions to curb certain imports and pivot to a more protectionist agenda. Mnuchin said the U.S., in fact, wants more trade, but that it wants fair and reciprocal trade, something he doesn't think the country pursued actively enough before Trump entered the White House. "I would say the United States has probably the most open trading market in the world and the most open investment market in the world, and we want to continue that. But we want fair trade," he said. "And where there are trade issues, we want to enforce them."